The UFC 297 pre-fight press conference just recently wrapped up. I'm going to give you guys my reaction and recap to the entire thing. I'm really looking forward to talking about this press conference. It's actually my first press conference reaction, so make sure you guys smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Sean Strickland, this is a key takeaway, is emerging as a UFC superstar, and he's extremely well-liked in all places around the world. He's that true anti-hero. We're going to talk about the key moments, and I'll give you guys my reaction to some of the things said. First big moment was Sean Strickland having a freedom rant. He was asked a question about fighting in Canada, and he talked about how he fights for the Canadian people, and he's all for freedom of speech, something that obviously Canada doesn't have the same access to as we have in America. And he also even mentioned Australia, and he's claiming to be a true freedom fighter worldwide, which is interesting, right? As the crowd goes crazy, and he even takes a subtle dig at MMA and UFC royalty George St. Pierre, saying George St. Pierre never fought for your guys' rights, but I'm fighting for him. So I thought that was a pretty sick moment, and the crowd reaction was off the chain. Like, he is a star. Next, there was a question to Dricus about how the fight ends. He agrees it's going to end inside of the distance. There was actually a pretty crazy agreement that these two made later on in the press conference, which we'll get to, which was absolutely savage. And I'm telling you, the way these two talked at the presser, it's going to be one of the greatest UFC championship fights of all time. I agree. I don't think it's going distance on either side, whoever you have winning. Now, there was a question that actually got asked to Raquel Pennington, which is actually surprising that she got asked a question so early, and she mentioned Bueno Silva having not fought anybody. I'm going to throw a rebuttal out there right away. Holly Holm is 2-0 against Raquel Pennington, and Bueno Silva submitted Holly Holm with a ninja choke in what was a massive upset. Sure, it was overturned, but Pennington using this "you haven't fought anybody" argument is completely delusional. She beat Holly Holm, the girl that beat you twice, one of the greatest female fighters ever. So Bueno Silva is rightfully in that top contender spot. Then a question went to Mike Malott. Obviously, he's a Canadian favorite, and he predicted a finish of Neil Magny, which I'm calling too. I think he gets a sub. The crowd went fucking crazy for Mike Malott. I think he's Canada's best hope of a contender at like 170 and really just working through all the rankings. He's a guy that is on the verge of becoming the face of Canadian MMA. He's damn close to it right now. And if he destroys Neil Magny, he's right in the elite of the elite at 170 pounds, especially if he finishes him, something that Ian Gary could not do. And I'm predicting he subs him. Now, surprisingly, we got more questions that went towards Bueno Silva and Raquel. Bueno Silva ended up questioning Raquel being ready for this fight. And it's funny, right? She is talking pretty clear English. Like, I fully understood Bueno Silva, and Raquel Pennington is claiming, I can't understand a word that you're saying. I felt like it was a subtle dig at the Brazilian accent. Now, I'm not one to cry racism or anything like that, but it's interesting, right? She's kind of digging at the somewhat broken but developing English of Bueno Silva when Raquel Pennington is a lesbian. Granted, they're both lesbians, so I guess they're both fighting for the LGBT rights, with Sean Strickland at Media Day taking a lot of flack from media members for having a firm stance against somebody from MMA fighting. I forget the name, Alan K. I'm sure you guys have found videos about that Media Day. That's not what this video is about. Bueno Silva also goes off about how boring Raquel Pennington's style is, and you could tell this pissed Raquel off because it's true. When has anybody said, whoa, that Raquel Pennington fight was epic? Maybe the Macy Chiasson one. She finished her. That was good. Outside of that one, I thought she got a controversial win over Ketlin Vieira. I don't think she won that. Raquel, again, goes to, who have you fought? She beat Holly Holm, whereas Raquel lost to Holly twice, right? And she did fight Manon Fiorot and lose a decision too. A win over Holly Holm. I don't care if you haven't beaten anybody else. You beat Holly, you got a name. You got a huge name. It's Holly Holm. Come on. Now we got back to Strickland and Dricus. That's where things got pretty exciting here. And it was interesting. They talked about the beef being squashed. That was kind of what the question was asked. And Strickland actually went out and tried Sean O'Malley. He didn't point the finger at Dricus du Plessis. He said O'Malley with that disgusting quote, talking that shit, that cuck, actually is what he said. What's hilarious about that is O'Malley did say, oh, at least my dad didn't fuck me, to Sean Strickland, which is something that just got completely ignored by MMA media outlets outlets, and the attack was all on Dricus du Plessis, where O'Malley truthfully said something way worse. Like, Dricus spoke about beating his ass like a father would, where, O'Malley mentioned some sick sexual perversions. That did not happen. Strickland actually said he's proud of Dricus du Plessis for getting under his skin and causing him to break character, which is why we admire Sean Strickland. He took it on the chin, he cried on Theo's pod, and now he's giving praise to Saturday's opponent, which is the toughest fight of his damn life. A fan ends up rushing the stage. "I love you, Sean Strickland." He's right in his face, and Strickland was even shouting out the fan after the security came and threw him out. To be honest, I thought the security could have handled that more savagely. I was hoping the security would power slam this kid and we'd have some like highlight reels to play, but they like kind of lightly pulled him off stage. It wasn't anything too intense. I like that the fan rushed up to say what's up to Sean Strickland. Now, this is a major moment at the press conference. What happened next? Sean Strickland, Dricus du Plessis both agree to a death match. They agree to fight to the death here, tooth and nail, absolute war. They both get up and shake hands. Death match is agreed upon. These two are going to bring hell to one another. And I honestly expect both to oblige. Like you talk about Conor McGregor saying to Dustin Poirier some years ago, first one to shoot is a dusty bitch, right? Now you got this fight here. These two are agreeing to stand in the center and go to war. I have a feeling that Dricus will also oblige, and he's not going to be looking to wrestle. I think he firmly believes he can knock out Sean Strickland, and the fact that they both agreed to this death match sold the fight even more. Like, holy shit, this is great. I'm hype as hell for this fight. I think this might be one of the greatest championship fights ever, I swear. And I'm not just hyping it up because it's going down this Saturday, but everything leading up to it, the way they're talking, like this could be a legendary moment in UFC championship history. So I love this. Next question was towards Uncle Dana. UFC 300. Are we looking at maybe the winner of this fight fighting Izzy in the main event? Dana completely dodges the 300 question. He doesn't even want to speak about it. I'm not even thinking about 300. Now, is that him not trying to build any anticipation about a fight that definitely is not guaranteed? Because if these two are going to go to war, like they might need 6 months off each, right? Definitely a possibility. But he gave us not even a bend on UFC 300. Dana don't want to tell us anything about that 300 main event. So I'll tell you about that 300 main event. If Sean Strickland and or Dricus du Plessis, either one, whoever wins, and if they are to come out for the most part unscathed from this fight where they could do a quick turnaround and they agree to do it, I promise you, an Israel Adesanya fight is extremely live. Dricus du Plessis, Adesanya would be front of the mind for Dana. If Dricus is to win, Sean Strickland, Khamzat Chimaev, probably front of the mind if Sean Strickland is to win. Now, we don't know if Khamzat can even get into the States, but Dana White knows the former President Donald Trump. Some phone calls can be made to some of the right people, I believe, and we could get Khamzat Chimaev fighting stateside at 300 for the belt, which I think is possible. Now, a question was asked to Dricus du Plessis about his cardio. And what's interesting is the defense that he used to pretty much negate the cardio issue talk was, oh, I beat Brad Tavares and I won the second and third round, and that was Sean Strickland's teammate. If you remember that fight, he definitely lost the first round, and that's another matchup that kind of gives me confidence towards Sean Strickland because Tavares from that same team gave Dricus du Plessis a really tough fight. That's his only UFC decision win. Strickland then answered some questions about wrestling. He was asked about wrestling in this match, of how he feels. He said, I wrestle every day. That's not what I want to do. I want to stand in the middle and one of us go to sleep. We're not trying to put the crowd to sleep. We're trying to put each other to sleep. He said he's not there to wrestle. He's there to fight. He said he's not Habib. He's there to stand tooth and nail, man dance, and go to war. And that's why Sean Strickland is honestly breaking into superstardom now. That mentality, that fighting style, and the way that he speaks on the mic, it's unparalleled. Nobody else has that vibe. It's like Strickland is so fucking edgy that people just love it because he's actually real. You see all these talk show hosts and these people that are bought and sold by media that would never have the balls to say anything about what they truly feel inside, whereas Strickland's like, fuck that. I'm talking exactly with how I feel. I'm speaking my truth. And that's why we love Strickland for. That's why he's garnering such a huge fan base. Now, Strickland then ripped Colby Covington, claiming he's a complete fraud and he doesn't care about anybody but himself. And to be honest, I kind of agree. I think Colby Covington's irrelevant. I think that he's like this weird MAGA face figure that like, you know, is being used by the UFC, and he uses Donald Trump for viewership. But like, That to me is smoke and mirrors. I'm not a big Colby guy anymore. I won't lie to you. I think the line that he used on Leon Edwards' father and then having no remorse whatsoever is like, and you standing with the, the MAGA side, it's like, makes them look even fucking worse now. There's already people that hate him. Now you got that coming into play? What the fuck? So yeah, I'm not really a big Colby guy anymore. Sean Strickland is the face of the American people now. Sean Strickland, Mr. USA, he even said that Colby Covington fighting and speaking in the octagon talking shit is a fucking shame because he's an absolute coward. I thought that was kind of crazy. Dana says they're going to be going over to Canada more often. There was a question about fighting in Canada, and he said, yes, we're going to be in Canada more. There's going to be more fights in Canada, and I thought that was absolutely dope because the Canadian fans deserve some bangers, man. They need some good fights. Finally, we get a question to Arnold Allen. This one's nuts. He says, do you think this matchup is going to be about title contention? He drops, what the hell is going on here about the whole press conference? Because it was crazy loud. Fans were going wild. It was Strickland and Dricus focus for the most part. He said he wants to fight the best, willing to fight the best. You're talking about a press conference that had chaos, but like respectable chaos. And then you give the most generic pick answer A of how I'm going to work my way up the ranks. Arnold Allen, you should have taken a moment to really take advantage. Arnold Allen should have said, I'm going to rip Movzar's head off and I'm coming for the Topuria Volk winner. They don't stand a chance against me. He should have said something along those lines. He should have started a beef with Topuria. I'm going to knock that midget out. After I run through Evloev, Topuria or Volk is next. They're dead. Instead, he plays the nice guy. And Arnold Allen is a gem of a guy. He's a real cool dude. I've seen his YouTube. He's a really nice guy. But there's a time and place where you got to be an asshole and kind of shift that heel. And he totally missed on a huge opportunity because I think that it would have built his star. It would have built his stock. He could have got a little pump from that. Nope, didn't do it. Didn't do it. Now, the next question, Sean and Dricus both got asked about Israel Adesanya's pick of Dricus du Plessis to win by sub. Dricus du Plessis destroyed Israel Adesanya. He said, Izzy is completely irrelevant. He's on a vacation. Like pretty much like, shut up, Izzy, and just go stand in the corner. Nobody cares. I thought that was pretty badass. And then Strickland says, fuck Izzy, the cringe lord, told him to shut his mouth and spoke about how he whooped his ass striking all night when he could have also just out-wrestled him. So Sean Strickland, savage. He's got the win over Israel Adesanya. He's like, I don't care what you have to say. And I like that him and Dricus both are on the same mentality there of no respect to Izzy. And you know Izzy was bothered by that. 100% Izzy got pissed. Fuck them. He's looking at the TV. He's throwing popcorn at it or something. He's irritated. He's pissed off. Another question that got asked was really interesting. Would the winner fight Alex Pereira? Dricus du Plessis said yes, but he's focused on fighting against Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland said, after I put Dricus away, I'll handle your work, and then I'll send them up to 205, and you can handle them next, Alex, which I thought was kind of funny that Sean Strickland was, pretty much adamant on staying at 85 and not rematching Pereira. They've trained together. I think they have an acquaintance to one another and a mutual respect. Dricus spoke about fighting up, but his prime focus is on 185 pounds, and it should be because that's where the matchups lie for him. Now, the face-off, Strickland was giggling again. It was kind of your typical awkward Strickland face-off where he couldn't keep a stoic, straight face, whereas du Plessis is like strong-arming him, looking tough, staring into his soul. I actually liked Strickland's nonchalant attitude. People talking about, oh, Dricus has got in his head and the mind games. Like previous to this week, maybe I would have fallen victim to that thought process too, because at one point I was. But seeing how chill Strickland is about it, like, we're good. We're good. Strickland's ready to win. Strickland's my pick in the fight. I'm calling him the lock this week. I'm doubling down. He's going to expose Dricus du Plessis. They're going to do the man dance, and one comes out on top. And my call is Sean Strickland to take him out. I think he's going to knock out Dricus du Plessis. So I do agree with inside distance. Big takeaway for me, like I said at the beginning of the video, Strickland's a star. Him winning this fight would be massive. And like he can easily headline UFC 300 and it will do huge numbers. Khamzat Chimaev, Sean Strickland would be a mega fight if Strickland is able to win against a very tough test this weekend in Dricus. I do believe he's going to win. I will say, speaking at the presser today, maybe I'm just biased, but I don't think Dricus du Plessis looked as confident as the, press conference from last month that was like the holiday seasonal presser getting us ready for these big cards. He didn't have that same aura. I think he recognizes Sean Strickland's there to win. And if you've seen Sean Strickland on social media right now, he's in the best shape of his career. And the best shape Strickland ever, I think it's the most dangerous Strickland ever. He beat Adesanya with suboptimal circumstance and showed up looking okay and whooped him. Imagine what he does to Dricus being absolutely on point. Sean Strickland's going to win the fight. He won the press conference. He's won over the fans worldwide at this point. His shirt was hilarious. It said, "Strickland, make Canada great again," trying to, take the Trump moniker and make it his own. I thought that was really funny. I like Sean Strickland a lot. He's willing to say some crazy shit. I like Dricus too. Don't get me wrong. He's a savage as well. We got two absolute badasses going off in the main event. And I think the press conference, for me, it delivered. It wasn't like a crazy beef press conference. There was some funny shit happening. The crowd was so into it. I guess this is the record-breaking attendance for the venue in Canada and just like all of Gates in Toronto, I believe Dana White said at the beginning. So that's crazy. The UFC is bigger than it ever has been before. And this is like the first time in a long time being back to Canada because of the, pandemic that went down when everything shut off. And I think they're coming with an absolute bang. It's got me more excited for the card. Guys in the comments, let me know who won the press conference. I think it's Sean Strickland, 10-6 dominance. Maybe 10-6 is an exaggeration. 10-8. Sean Strickland got the press. He looked smooth as hell on the mic. He seemed confident as it gets. And I thought he had some fire barbs too. And I like that he speaks on freedom because at the end of the day, we all like freedom of speech here in America. And I would love to see it worldwide. Much love, my people. Smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. And don't just leave them on personalized. Put them on all so you don't miss a video because I got daily content that's dropping on the channel, daily live streams on the channel. And I started members now too. So if you want to become a member, link in the description. Join Members Only Live going down. Actually, tonight, if you're watching this on January 18th, Members Only Live is tonight. First one ever. I'm excited as hell for it. I hope you guys enjoyed the first ever press conference reaction. I definitely want feedback, so let me know what your thoughts on this video are in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.